First off, what is One Piece? And no, I'm not talking about Gold Roger's treasure. One Piece is an epic adventure manga and anime series centered around Monkey D. Luffy and his crew, the Straw Hat Pirates. They sail the Grand Line in search of the legendary pirate Gold D. Roger's treasure known as the One Piece, while encountering diverse characters, facing insanely powerful foes, and exploring a richly detailed world filled with mystery, humor, and at the center, it's a story of friendship and freedom. Oh, and one more thing. Luffy is not a normal pirate. He has devil fruit powers from the Gum Gum fruit, causing him to be a rubber man. Now we're going to go into a little bit of a deep dive into one of my favorite franchises in the One Piece world, Pirate Warriors. Now before we get into it, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified about any new videos. Alright, let's set sail. One Piece's journey from idea to manga to anime to video games to live action, which by the way was fucking amazing, all started with one man, Ichiro Oda. He was born January 1st, 1975 in Kumamoto, Japan, and from a very young age he had a burning passion for art and storytelling, all because this kid loved manga. In 1992, at age 17, Oda, just a senior in high school, officially started his career. He spent 4 months working on his first manga, Wanted, which is about a bounty hunter, Wild Joe, going after the head of a wanted criminal, Gil Baster. He submitted Wanted to the 44th Suzuka Awards under the pseudonym Suki Himazuka Kondo, and he won second class, earning 500,000 yen, making his official debut in the manga industry. After graduating high school in 1993, Oda went to Kyushu Tokai University and majored in architecture. During this time, he continued working on manga, making God's Gift for the Future and Ikeyako, which later won first place at the Hop Step Awards. In early 1994, Oda decided to drop out of Kyushu Tokai to pursue his dream of becoming a mangaka. Oda began his professional career as an assistant for Shonen Jump creators, which included work in the last few chapters of Shinobu Kitani's Midoriyama Police Gang. Oda then spent time assisting Masao Tokahiro through Jungle King Tarchan's final year and on Tokahiro's other series, Kappa Man. This ended up being his longest tenure under a mangaka. Kappa Man ran until mid-1996, which is when Oda started his final assistant tenure. He worked under Nobuhiro Watsuki on Rurouni Kenshin. This led to Oda being credited for creating the concept for Hanjo Kamatari, a cross-dressing swordsman. While working as an assistant all this time, Oda continued working on many of his own projects, which were pretty much all rejected from publication, until a little draft he had written from high school called Romance Dawn was allowed to fill an upcoming gap in Weekly Shonen Jump only after he tweaked it and gave it a second draft. In May 1997, a year after Romance Dawn, One Piece was officially approved in Weekly Shonen Jump, and Oda was no longer an assistant, but now a mangaka. Weekly Shonen Jump 34 premiered the first One Piece chapters in July 1997. Due to One Piece's immediate success over the next few years, it grew into a full-fledged franchise. It had its first animated adaptation in 1998 with One Piece Defeat Him, the pirate Ganzak. Then into an animated series in 1999 with the beautiful simple title One Piece. July 19th, 2000 saw the debut of the first video game, One Piece Become the Pirate King, which is a turn-based strategy game released exclusively for the WonderSwan console. One Piece now has a whopping 56 games, including 11 mobile games, and that doesn't even include the multiple crossover entries like Jump Force, which has since now been delisted. So if anyone watching this owns a copy and is willing to let me borrow it, that would be freaking amazing. I have yet to play it. The most recent game in the One Piece universe is One Piece Odyssey, which is really beautiful. It's fun to play, but it does get repetitive and genuinely doesn't feel challenging at all. That being said, if you're a One Piece fan, you'll just enjoy being in the world the game visually gets right. Plus, we get Nami and Nico Robin in beautiful 3D action. Overall, it's an okay game. It's in no way my favorite One Piece game. It gets a lot of things right, but it also is just, it's eh. For me, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 takes the cake and is my absolute favorite One Piece game at the moment, and I think the Pirate Warriors series is slightly underrated. The Pirate Warriors journey began with two Japanese video game companies, Koei Tecmo, specifically its subsidiary Omega Force, and Bandai Namco Entertainment. Omega Force was well known for developing the Dynasty Warriors series, which features large-scale battles and gameplay centered around the Musou action genre. It's a genre of video game also known as the Warriors genre. It's a category of action games that are categorized by large-scale battles, hack-and-slash combat, and the player's ability to take on and defeat large-ass hordes of enemies. Dynasty Warriors is the originator of this style of game. Bandai Namco Entertainment, which compared to Omega Force is a major player in the anime and manga adaptation gaming market. It holds rights to many popular anime and manga series, including JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Dragon Ball Z, and Tokyo Ghoul, just to name a few. Shout out Tokyo Ghoul for being one of my favorite animes of all time, Ken Kaneki. These two gaming companies joined when they were approached by Shin Umezawa, the vice president of D3 Publisher, which is another video game developer and publishing company, to create a game centered around One Piece. Koei Tecmo producer Hisashi Koinama and Bandai Namco producer Koji Nakajima realized that an action game involving Monkey D. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates in a video game would be extremely interesting. Originally, this game was going to be called One Piece Musou, but was changed due to our boy Oda changing it himself. The game was created with the goal of keeping true to Oda's source material as best they could, along with not just bringing fans of the anime and manga, but bringing in a wider audience to the wonderful world of One Piece. Every character model in this game was remodeled from scratch to be faithful to Oda's work. According to Oda, from a commentary in Shonen Jump, he was so amazed by the quality of the game's demo movie and the character models, he believed it was on par with what is seen in a full-budget film. The dev team even requested for Oda to do the game's cover art, but he refused, thinking the character models alone were enough to showcase the game. One Piece Pirate Warriors was first announced in the early September issue of Weekly Shonen Jump magazine and featured screenshots of Monkey D. Luffy and highlighted the game's mechanics and the developers behind it. The game was first showcased at the 2011 Tokyo Game Show convention along with another One Piece game, One Piece Gigant Battle 2 New World, for the Nintendo DS. On February 13, 2012, Bandai Namco announced that the development of Pirate Warriors was officially finished, and Bandai Namco president Shin Umezawa revealed that the game had 500,000 pre-orders. Then, on April 11th, Bandai revealed that Pirate Warriors would be released for North America on September 25th, 2012, and for Europe on September 21st, 2012. When Pirate Warriors was released, it was the first title in the One Piece video game franchise that released on the PlayStation system since One Piece Grand Adventure in 2006. The game was an immediate success. It sold over 655,774 copies in Japan in its first week alone, and sold over 1.2 million units worldwide. The game was a fresh take on One Piece. Visually, this game was a breath of fresh air. It accurately recreated characters and settings in the style of the anime series. It had 13 playable characters, and each character's unique abilities and powers. Story-wise, it included 10 arcs, starting with Buggy the Clown all the way through Marineford. You finally got to become an ass-kicking Straw Hat Pirate. The gameplay and mechanics felt great. You got to immerse yourself in huge battles, sail across the seas, discover hidden islands, engage with a lot of characters, and explore locations from the series just as Luffy and his crew do, which honestly hits all the right bases for a great game. Needless to say, it garnered positive reviews from fans and critics alike, thus setting the stage for the Pirate Warriors series. Moving on to Pirate Warriors 2, it was built upon the foundation of the first game, but started shaking things up. Unlike the previous game, Pirate Warriors 2 didn't just want to copy the action from the story arcs. No, they instead decided to go slightly non-canon with an original story known as the Dream Story, set 2 years after the Straw Hats entered the New World. In the Dream Story, it's kind of a what-if scenario, with Dials releasing a mysterious fog, making everyone who's been exposed to become evil. This includes a good chunk of the Straw Hat crew becoming infected by the gas. The story gets kind of wild as Luffy and Nami save crew member after crew member to get the Straw Hats back together. A lot of alliances are made, making it more of a fan fiction story loosely based on the anime, which is still very fun but leaves you wanting more. Now, the combat in this game was refined a lot. It had a heavy focus on the more warrior-style gameplay, making the game faster paced, throwing a shit ton more enemies in your face, and forcing you to be more strategic. It revamped all the returning characters' movesets. It introduced the hockey ability for characters and the style mode system, which allows you to do more damage, add more to combos, and even slow enemies down. You also have the option of temporarily switching characters in this mode or having a partner come in for a crazy attack. It also featured 27 playable characters, which is a lot considering Pirate Warriors 1 had 13. This game took an impressively fast 1-year turnaround time, which is honestly super quick for this type of game. It was released in 2013 on PlayStation 3. In Japan, that was on March 20th, and for US, that was September 3rd. The game sold 410,000 copies in its first week in Japan and managed to be the 7th most downloaded game in its first week on PlayStation Network in the US. Now on to Pirate Warriors 3. In December 2014, this game was announced that it would be released in 2015, and the game would once again focus on a canon story, starting at the very beginning all the way to the Dressrosa arc, which at the time wasn't even finished for the manga. Now, why would they include an arc that wasn't finished? Hisashi Koinuma, Koei Tecmo's general director, said, "We think fans would be excited to see the storyline even if parts of it were original for the game." He then said they waited until the very end of development so the manga could go as long as it could until we needed to work on it, which is honestly kind of cool. They were just giving us a little tease. The game is more or less the same as the first two games with the addition of the new Kizuna Rush system, which replaced the last game's style system. Basically, you can summon another character in battle and perform a combination attack. You can also have up to 4 characters summoned at once, with your attacks becoming more powerful as more players join. Each character, playable and support, have their own hero powers, which produce different effects, like Garp throwing a barrage of cannonballs that deals out crazy damage to every enemy, for instance. Now, there are a lot of effects from the hero powers, like restoring health and reducing enemy attack power. Now, here's the kicker. During battles, tougher enemies have hero powers too. Ultimately, they really polished this game, updated the graphics, further improved the combat system, and added even more enemies to fight. This game also upped the playable characters to 37, including the swagged out Don Quixote Doflamingo. Once again, this game was fast-paced, visually it looked amazing, and it stayed true to the original story, though this game really sped through it by focusing on arcs and storylines through single battles per arcs. And you know what? This game was a hell of a lot of fun to play. The game released on March 26, 2015 for Japan and on August 25, 2015 for the US. And once again, it sold pretty damn well. Pirate Warriors 4, where to start? This game was originally announced at the 2019 Anime Expo, and it showcased with a reveal trailer, and people were freaking hyped. It was released on March 27th worldwide. Now, this game's story has an abridged story starting with the Alabasta arc through Wano, with cutscenes filling you in with more detailed story info. This is also the first game where Kaido and Big Mom make their Pirate Warriors debut. Like Pirate Warriors 3, the original ending for Wano had yet to be finished, so they came up with their own ending, and it's pretty crazy. In addition to the main story arcs, it introduced original scenarios and side stories that explained and immersed you further into the One Piece world. The combat was enhanced yet again, making it feel more fluid and even smoother. Some would say smooth like butter. It also added the addition of air combos, which no previous game had, which really added a lot to combos. Characters felt very strong, and you feel like you're actually the character you're in control of. You have your own skill trees to build upon, along with a universal one. The graphics are improved, character detail was improved, the environments looked great, and the game felt more open-worldy due to the size of the maps. The game also goes much deeper into arcs with around 5 to 6 missions per arc. The game is also a lot more challenging and very addicting. This game, hands down, is one of the best One Piece games made. The battles are chaotic and insanely fun. The game also has the biggest rosters of playable characters yet, with 52. 12 of them being from DLC. Now, from the non-DLC, one of my favorite characters is Charlotte Katakuri, which, fun fact, just pulled this sexy alt art from Pillars of Strength. Speaking of DLC, this game is still pumping it out. It released extra episodes and some super fun characters. The game is a truly fun one if you're a huge fan of One Piece. It's got plenty of grinding, side missions, quests, and challenges that you can get lost in. Some side missions are character-centric, focusing on specific members of the Straw Hat Pirates or characters from the series. The locations in the game really capture the essence of One Piece. The game's ability to attract new players and rekindle the interest of longtime fans demonstrated its role in reinvigorating the series and contributing to the enduring popularity of One Piece in the gaming landscape. It transformed the gameplay experience by offering an open-world exploration element, engaging side missions and quests, interactive storytelling, character unlocking, and extended narrative. The game does a great job with character banter, and the interactions enhance the authenticity of the characters and are super funny. The game truly is amazing. I know it's a hit or miss for some people, but that's okay, and you're f***ing wrong. Just kidding. Or am I? To me, this game makes me feel like a Straw Hat Pirate, and that's all I want. Now, as a true fan of the Pirate Warriors series, what really excites me is the potential for the future. Will there be a Pirate Warriors 5? Do you have any favorite characters you're dying to play as? Who is your favorite character to play as? I want to know. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell to stay updated. It helps a lot, and I'll see you in the next one, nerds.